Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's new book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. And author Larry Buford's book to the future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Roll it.
That demons are real has never been a doubt for me. That they live and move through the men in my family has also been quite clear. As a child growing up watching my father, my deepest fear was always that I'd someday have to face the demon I saw living in him.
Stand and let me finish, because I am not finished. I will kill you.
Face me. Things change. And now fear the day my son faces the demon I know lives in me.
You're a common thing, you know. See your type a million times. Jamaican boy go a foreign. Come back American man with spirit fi fix. The cure for everything is up in these hills, boy. Everything.
It all stops here.
Run. Don't you ever raise your voice to me!
It's a dark place you're going to, you know.
I'm in another circle. Leave me alone!
You think you can manage?
Circles, sweet why? Nothing to protect you then.
Leave me alone. Stop!
Wow, Runt. Ladies and gentlemen, as our guest today, we have two marvelous writers and producers, along with one being an actor. You just saw the work of our first guest in the film Runt, which put him on the map as an actor and a writer. Originally from Kingston, Jamaica, he's done all kinds of plays and films and is here today to tell us about his past and his future. Please welcome Michael Phillip Edwards. Michael, thank you very much for being here today. Man, that movie puts you on the map. Wow. I mean, first it was a play, and then you turned it into a film. Mm-hmm. My goodness. What did you...
And then the radio play is the little secret in between.
Right, a radio play.
Mm-hmm. That kind of made... The radio play was the credo, in the sense of the Edinburgh thing happened, right? Went over there, first reading, I had the exec producer, Michael Blaha, saw the first reading and said, I'm in, like wanting to back it, and said, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a run in LA, or let me tell you about this festival in Edinburgh, which I'd heard about, but the biggest theater festival in the world. And I said, I thought of Jimi Hendrix, and I said, let me go over there. Because you know the Jimi Hendrix story is go over there to come back.
And come back.
Right, and so and that's how that started. Went over there and the first week it hit it out the park. It was we got the Scotsman Fringe First Award, which is a writer award, which is the top writing award. So I was stunned. I was actually quite stunned.
Okay. Speaking of awards, you were the first black writer performer to receive that prize.
Correct.
How'd you feel about that?
Stunned. It was you start to write something saying, let me. The impetus for it was, like you say, I'm born in Kingston, Jamaica, and I had a great agency, and I was starting, and the fifth callback, they were like, "Is there an accent somewhere in the back of that? This guy's from Mississippi, and you're doing the Mississippi accent, but you get excited, and I hear a hey man in there somewhere, right?" So it was. So I said, "Man, I kept trying to hide and come off like I was from Atlanta or something." And then I said, no, let me just own this Jamaica thing. And so I wrote, I was married at the time, my wife was having a boy, and I knew what I'd thought my whole life about the men in my family and the curse and what we could break. And so I just said, let me write this for my son. Let me be the one that breaks what I think is something that haunts the men in my family. And that was what the play was. It was actually it turned from a showcase for my acting to Pan-African curse break. And that seemed to hit. I was amazed over in Edinburgh how Japanese people, Spanish people were like, dude, you're actually really, I had royalty pull me in for a dinner, like a specific dinner with Lady Ashley. She wanted to talk to me about certain segments of the piece. Right. So I hit a nerve with that one.
In other words, you got good reaction for that one.
The BBC, and then the BBC was the big one. That I didn't mention that. The BBC came and saw the play and said, we want you to adapt this for the BBC World Service. So they flew over once I was back in LA, and we, for 4 days, in ways it was harder to do that than it was to do the entire film. They did take, there's pictures of me soaking wet in the studio. They recorded and we went on buses. They just recorded for 4 days. I was a slave to sound. And then it won Best Radio Play in the United Kingdom. 280 million people listening all over the world. And then it won the Sony Gold Medal, Best Play for 2003.
Wow.
Best Radio Play. That's when the film, because of that media explosion, then I had an investor insist.
I think it was around the first time that I had met you, and everybody said, Michael, Runt, Michael. You connected the two together.
Yeah, I was across the street. Run! Because I was attached. I was touring. Went to Australia. It was in London. I had another guy doing it at other parts of the world. I was busy all over. Went to the National Black Theater Festival, which was the biggest thing. Ruby D, everybody, Ruben Santiago sitting in the audience, 500 people, sold out. Go. That was maybe like one of the best before. It was like Ruby D. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Ruby D sitting watching you.
Right, we're trying to get her a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Please say it again.
Oh, please do. Because I could not believe. She came and sat down and said, yes. What? Heard about you.
Yes.
Go. And that was. I left it on the stage.
You call that rewards for all the work that you do?
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah.
It was an honor.
Indeed.
Period.
Indeed. From there, you had 7 acting roles, writing, directing, and producing position, one of which was Murder 101.
That was, when they called me up, they were liking my directing, and they said, we want you to direct this film. We're going to fly in this, Tom Sizemore. This was around the time before it all kind of thing.
Right.
And, can you rewrite this? And that was a little over $1 million for the budget. Mm-hmm. So that was my first, this is film, get to work. And we got trailers, we got crowd scenes, that was in a way, with Runt the film, that was my artiste. With Murder 101, they were like, you're making a thriller.
Right.
We want you to make Silence of the Lambs, get to work.
Right.
It was good, it was fun.
Right. Because for you and our other guests, you guys work hard waiting to get that first break. You never give up. Right. That's what I love about y'all. Y'all never give up. When times are hard and you put a film in there and it bombs, you go, okay, that's fine. We'll do it again. We learn something from it, lesson learned, and we move on. Mm-hmm. I want to backtrack for just a second because I should mention that Runt was not your first acting job. You did have, in 1990, you had your first IMDb acting credit. It was called On Thin Ice, The Thai Babyloni Story. Mm-hmm. You played his brother Connie.
Yeah, man, that was amazing. That was I'm from York University. There was a 4-year program, performance stream, mm-hmm. 500 auditioned, 13 graduated, and it was intense. You're in tights for 3 of those years, just getting disciplined. It's like Top Gun. You're getting threatened to be cut.
Gotcha.
Graduating that right out of the gate. That job happened, which sort of, I have Caribbean parents who are like, why acting? So that was landing that sort of guest starring role in the TV series made them go, oh, okay, maybe. And that's what brought me to LA, actually, because agents saw me in that. And I got to know Ty. She's still a friend, Ty Babylonia.
Yeah. And
Connie actually became good friends with him for a minute. Like I met the guy. They were on set. It's a true story.
Yes.
And so it was it was awesome. It was an awesome experience to be the first job ever and to have a responsibility. I feel like they were laughing because I was such a good, such a studious, little.
Go ahead and
man.
say it. Scoot your arm, brother. It's
I
all
don't want to
right.
say it.
It won't leave this room. Trust
I
me.
was such a, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was. That was the first job, and I just did not want to blow it.
Gotcha. 2017, you directed a project called Revolution in a Catsuit.
Revolution in a, oh my God, the big show, the big play.
Yes.
That's a play at the Bootleg Theater.
Bootleg?
The Bootleg Theater. Mm-hmm. And that was an awesome play, actually, written in London, so the UK, sort of Edinburgh revisiting. And it was more like it was about color. It was about breaking down the color barrier. Somi D'Souza wrote the play and charged me with directing it and producing it and seeing if it would work in the U.S. So sort of challenged. It was basically an attack on the BBC and an attack on the way people see brown people, not even black people, but brown people. And I thought it was brilliant, to be honest. The subject matter was brilliant. People came and just stared at it because it was really subtly written as far as, this is how you see us. This is how things are. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
So I was proud of that. Yeah.
We just happen to have a small clip. Roll it, sir.
Oh, no.
I'm not performing at all. It's odd not being on stage and merely directing. Just directing. I being the director of Revolution in a Catsuit. The limelight that an actor experiences. I am not experiencing this time. The mood shifts. I will not be dealing with the mood shifts, for I am not an actor in this production. I'm merely the director. Movement will not be an aspect of this production for me. It will merely be something that other actors are experiencing under my direction. I am the director of Revolution in a Catsuit.
No, that was nice. That was
my
real nice.
God.
You were just expressing what my man Charles Wright said. Express yourself.
Playing. That's one man show-itis.
Yes.
I don't get to act in this one, so someone turned a camera on and I just
Gotcha.
oozed out what I wished I could be doing. The actors in that were really good. So it actually helps to be an actor-director.
Yes.
Sometimes. Oh yeah.
Yes.
'Cause you have to tune into their instincts and away from yours. That's the first step.
Right.
Because you have yours and you go, oh, that would be, you could do this. And then it's like, nope, who is this?
Right.
And then you get to their best and it's kind of fun.
We had last week a gentleman by the name of Leonard R. Garner Jr., a very well-known director, and he said a lot of things. Both of you guys are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And you have to work for that. They don't just give it to you.
No, you have to, it's like your comfort zone.
Yes.
And then with every job, you have to step away from your comfort zone.
Yes.
Which sucks, actually.
Yeah.
But isn't that life?
That's right.
That's I know what I'm doing. Oh, no, I don't. Now we're going. Now we're starting.
Yeah. Tell us about I'm Not Sam, please.
I'm Not Sam. Oh, my God, I'm proud of that thing. That's the one. That's a one-man play. Mm-hmm. I workshopped it at the Geffen, actually. And
Okay.
I had formed a relationship with Tom Sizemore. I wanted to discuss, because it's still, the discussion is still going on, America's relationship with black and white. Like being Jamaica, Canada here, I have a perspective. Even going over to the UK, you sort of see, the one drop rule, all of that. The August Wilson Center, they premiered it. They did it once when I was there with Runt. They had me do a performance there of it. It's basically, in a nutshell, based on a true story. 90-something-year-old black man has a white grandson. Mm-hmm. Like I can break that down and take 5 minutes of it to say how that happened. But he was from the the Great Migration, moved to Detroit.
Okay.
Got one of those jobs in the car thing, made money, built a cat house in his section of town, has money. Mm-hmm. So his daughter, he married a Native American woman, looks white. And so an Ivy League man marries his daughter and he has a white grandson. And he hates white people, but he chooses to play the game because he believes in money and success in America. So him sitting and talking to his white grandson is the play as they flight of fancy to different places. And what you're witnessing through this character is because it's his blood, he can't help but love his grandson. Gotcha. And so in this one-man play where we vacillate between the two characters, the white man growing up, the solo character, Tom, played it, then I ended up playing it. I played white characters and black characters, both in the same family, hating with a passion, hating each other, and loving each other with a passion. And that's that play. I mean, because it's based on truth, I'm exploring the real possibilities. Right. Woo! And I just say, in that America, love, hate, deep on both sides. Anyway, that's I'm not saying.
Michael, when you are working, what kind of material do you look for? Drama, comedy, horror?
Man, I'm only here for like 90 years to 100 years. I'm trying to do, it's like, even that play, the laughs are strong. It's like, it's got to be entertaining. I like plays that shift the energy. I like films that shift the energy, ask a question of some sort. We're only here for a minute. I see other artists, even at the top of their game, doing it, where you're getting, even the $100 million films. Don't just feed people pablum. Always entertain. But I like to explore, like fear, like overcoming fear, in the sense of how fear governs us and how what happens if we shift. I do like to explore race and perspectives, because especially with this country, it's a changing thing. Irish weren't allowed at one point. Italian weren't allowed at one point. Blacks have always been viewed that way, and then at one point there was actually a point in America where it was written, okay, we have to make sure these people aren't viewed as human, and then okay, now they are human. Like I love putting that in the mirror to that.
Yes. And
having people say, well, no, everything's fine. No, dude, it changes, and we're a cartoon, right? But we should just know we're a cartoon so there can be greater change. It is what it is, but let's say what it is, right? I love art that does that.
As you know, today's world is so technical, special effects, etc. This weekend I had a chance to go to the Cinegear Expo over there at Paramount Studios. I mean, there was hundreds of people over there. And I said to myself, there are a lot of people out here in the production business who are trying to make movies, because you're all really storytellers. It's a lot of stories to tell. They also treated us, they let us see Rocket Man at the end of the expo. Really enjoyed it. Good movie.
Wow.
Good movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. It seems like it's good.
Yeah, and in Russia, they had the nerve to take some of the scenes out, some of the sex scenes out. But it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I'm an Elton John fan and proud of it.
Yeah.
As we call him, Sir Elton John. So we really enjoed the movie.
I just got to see, I got to see the sequence for Benny and the Jets. I just like to see what they do with that.
Oh,
Don't tell me nothing.
I'm not going to tell you.
All right.
Excuse me. Gag order. Just gag.
Every time I hear that song, I go, what is he doing? That song is just...
Cannes Film Festival just finished. Any reaction to that?
Oh my God! I mean, I'm dying to see Tarantino's new film.
Oh yeah.
I want to see. I like his detail. I like what he does. Yeah. I mean, yes. I'm excited by that. That alone, and I'm glad that Rocket Man did well over there.
Okay.
I want to talk about what do you call it? Like the new film in the thing, Rise Again, Last Life, Rise Again.
Yes.
That one's on the docks. He's recently finished.
Okay.
And that one's a love story. It's sort of my first, just a love story. It was written right after the president, present president, got elected, and I was doing a documentary around the country, and I was in the red states. I was with people who were getting ready to vote for him, and because we were running around needy, we were traveling all over the place. People were kind and loving.
Yes.
And then they went and voted, and I was confused. Because, it was like, oh, hate. I was like, no. And so I wrote this, I said, let me write this love story about these, reincarnation. These two people who first met as slaves, but they since then have been coming back to kind of resolve their relationship in different lives. And this is it's called Last Life, because this is their last life together as a couple.
Wow.
And I wrote it in the spirit of they're leaving because they're tired. Because as blacks, they're tired of the experience in Jamaica. So now there's like and so this is their last time. They're not coming back.
Gotcha.
And they have a child that's following them, and the child is white. So I keep that theme going.
Oh yeah.
And the child is coming back,
Right.
but they aren't.
Right.
And that's it won Best Picture at the Houston Black Film Festival.
All right.
I won Best Actor.
All right.
Tamika Lamison won Best Actress.
Mm-hmm.
It was I forgot that I acted in that. I had to get in there.
Yeah. I hear you thinking about a TV series on that plane.
That one, yeah, I was get told even at a few of the festivals it was that
Yes.
saying this is a TV series. So I went and wrote like a Black Mirror type thing,
Mm-hmm.
where what the basic premise of the thing is, what if there's a purpose, like for reincarnation, meaning if you live 7 lifetimes, it's just do one thing.
Right.
So in each episode, it's someone's last life, and they're made conscious of it.
Gotcha.
That you're not coming back anymore. What is it you were doing for the last several times you've been doing? So, take all your money out of your bank, drop everything you're doing. You're not going to be here too much longer. Wrap it up. Wrap up your business of your last 7 lifetimes.
Gotcha.
So go and see that person who probably forgets you, or, and tell them what you need to tell them. And it's instead of wrap it up because it's the end of this life, it's wrap it up because it's the end of many lives. And then we're able to deal with deeper themes. And so it's a person set on a mission every episode.
Got you. 2019 is only halfway through. It's been a good year for you, Michael. Apology. Once Upon a Time in New York City.
My goodness. You're doing your homework.
Oh, you have to. For you guys and girls, hey, got
There's
to.
the Once Upon a Time in New York, they're saying, this is a project for Armand Asante. They hired me as a writer for that. And they said, you ever heard Armand Asante talk?
Not really.
Oh my God. You ever?
Give us a demo.
He's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Oh,
And
that guy.
bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Mickey Max, he don't got it. Let me tell you what he does that. Like it's so.
That's
they
good.
wanted.
I've seen him. Yeah.
He's
and
clear American gangster. Oh my God, he's good in that.
Yeah.
So I remember they delivered the first draft. They said, he's in it. He's in now. Right. Can you write? So I needed to add this much to his speeches.
Wow. Mike, with all the work that you do, will acting be a future for you as well?
Oh yeah. It's acting is it's like I'm a storyteller.
Right.
Meaning, writing is the forte now. Writing and directing. I've got a project in the dark that shoots Jamaica that's actually leaning towards getting done now. That's a horror film in Jamaica, and then there's another one that shoots in LA, Oldest Profession, that deals with the non-sex part of the sex lives of 4 women. These are 2 original scripts that I've written that I've got investors leaning for it. So I've got these 2 films coming up, and I'll throw myself in there somewhere acting if it fits. But I don't push for act. And then my agent right now is my literary agent. Also has an acting division, and she forces me to go for auditions. I love acting. I love the writing game.
Right.
I don't love the acting game.
Right.
But I love acting.
Go ahead. And we love you as an actor. Enjoyable to see you work. May I have your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
This is my silver dollar trademark for good luck. I always give that to people for good luck. Hold on to that for good luck. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very, very much for coming to see us today. We wish we had more time, but we'll get you back again for sure.
Ron, thank you.
My
You
pleasure,
honor
sir.
me, my brother.
My pleasure.
No, you're wild, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me here.
We're going to take a short break here, and it's the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography is an art. Is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Harvey has been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. Haiku style. Passion, Heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. The book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku well over a half-century ago. This experience produced him a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. The book is available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between veterans of foreign wars and veterans of Vietnam of America. And now a word from Book to the Future, Book to the Future. Time Travel Message in a Capsule. It's a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what you do and follow today will affect you tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon, so please get your copy today. And now a word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
And Carla, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Ladies and gentlemen, applications for the 26th Miss African American Scholarship Pageant are still being accepted for the 2019 nationwide registration. Only 50 young participants between the ages of 6 and 12 years old will be accepted. The deadline for application submission is this coming Saturday, June the 8th. That's this coming Saturday, June the 8th. The pageant will award over $10,000 in scholarships and prizes this year and will be held Sunday, August 11th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center in Los Angeles, California. So applications for participation can be submitted to www.littlemissafricanamerican.org. That's www.littlemissafricanamerica.org. Thank you. And finally, if you have a product or a service or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable, and we like doing business with you. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it.
Get you.
Stars, you can take your fucking hand away from that piece. And, give me a shot of Jack in the beer.
You must be cold.
Yep. Josh called.
My next guest is a young lady with lots of talent and much desire. She was born in urban Detroit, raised in the burbs of Chicago, and now she calls California her home. She attended the American Film Institute's directing program. She also has a master's degree in fine arts. Oh yeah, she just was accepted into Women in Film's Directing Mentor Program. And they tell me she's very excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carmen Elly Wilkerson. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you. What a name. What a name. Marvelous. Marvelous, Carmen. And welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you.
Your hope is to direct television, contribute your voice to this business. Sounds to me like you got a plan. Could you share it with us?
Oh, so many plans. So many great plans. Really excited about all the things going on in the industry these days. For women, for people of color. Really great. The Women in Film Mentor Directing Program is basically something that has come at a point in my career where I've found that I've had to kind of reinvent myself a bit. You know, I think when I first came out here, one of the things that I wanted to do, I remember I always say, I'm going to be the black female Spielberg. You know, that's what I want to do. And so you go down a path of kind of, wanting to do Hollywood projects and wanting to do things that sell in a commercial and all that is wonderful and fine. But I definitely think that as an artist, I was still finding my voice and still, figuring out exactly where I belonged in it. A Guy Walks Into a Bar, which is the movie that you, I think, showed a moment ago, was a movie that someone else wrote, and I was asked to direct it, even though I ended up coming on as a co-writer. And what was interesting is that there's no African Americans in the movie. So I got an agent off of it. I, was taking meetings. And my agent thought it was really funny not to tell the people that whoever was coming, the director of the project, was an African-American female. So I was taking meetings, and the black point of view wasn't necessarily part of it, which grew a little old for me. And what I realized is I wasn't really getting excited about the projects that were being put forth for me, because they were all kind of like white boy angst movies, which was, what Guy Walks Into a Bar. At the same time, Guy Walks Into a Bar really opened my horizons. I mean, it was a project that was stylized and, it was an action adventure, a Western. I mean, how cool is that? So I really enjoyed the talent that I worked with, Fred Savage and Robert Pine. And it was amazing. But as I said, I think that I have evolved now. And there's particular projects that I want to do that are very much related to the African American experience. My voice right now is I want to do things, people who in our history who have done amazing things, African Americans, people of color who are not on the map, who no one knows their story, no one knows anything about. So as I said, as a few years ago, I kind of put the production company into effect. I put producer on, and I started doing projects that were a lot different, hence the reunion. And so all the things that I'm writing now are a little different, but it's all good.
When you look at your resume for the time that you've been in this business, casting department, you started in 1992 and went to school and did other things like that, and then came back and still worked that. Assistant director, you've done that. With Loungers, that was one of your first jobs.
Mark Forrester, big director now.
Right. You were a writer and director. You did A Guy, of course, Walks Into the Bar. You were a regular, now you're a director. You're not an assistant AD, you're the director now.
I direct,
You worked your way up to that.
Absolutely.
Again, that's another one. That was from 1997 until now, and on and on and on. And of course, a producer. You're a writer, producer, director. Lady, this pretty lady's doing it all.
Well,
She's doing it all in a short time.
Well, I'm doing it all out of necessity. Necessity is a lot of times why we put these hats on. I don't think it's any secret that in this business, women have had a challenge, let alone African American women. I think in television, it's some crazy statistic like 5% of all television shows are directed by women, and obviously, not many of those are African American, but it's changing with some of the wonderful producers that are out there now, like Ava DuVernay, who is bringing African American women on her show, or just women on her show, and there's a few others that are doing that. The statistics recently have changed and are changing. So yeah, I'm putting that hat on because I think it's the best time to have movies, TV shows with people of color, with women, to be put out there. But we have to create.
Yes.
I can't expect someone who doesn't look like me to want to do films, people that look like me. I mean, it happens all the time. I don't think they get it right most of the time. So I think I'm the best purveyor of my own stories. So.
What excites you the most about this business?
Oh, so much. I think the reach that it has, the impact that any story can have. It might have started in, your grandmother's kitchen, but that story can be told and produced and go around the world. Right. My film, The Reunion, is distributed on something called Canopy Streaming Service, which goes to colleges and universities around the world. So we actually sell really well in Australia. Okay, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
When I did the movie, when I conceived of the movie and all of that was done, I didn't really think that it could really be shown around the world and that girls, on a different continent can enjoy it and can learn from it. Yeah. So that's probably the most exciting thing about this business to me.
Okay, let's get right to it.
Yeah.
As a director,
yes.
How do you approach working with actors and actresses?
Well, first of all, I love actors. I think it's so hard to be intimate.
Yes.
In public. That's what acting is being private in public. And I respect it a lot. So, having come from casting and starting there, what I really like to do is, first of all, choose properly. Choose properly for a role, make sure that they're really embodying the essence from an internal place. You know what I mean? Not just looks like the character, but that you really feel it. You feel that they can pull it off. I like to, I'm a director who really likes to collaborate with my actors. I like to take a lot of their suggestions if it's in fit with our theme and what our general purposes are. I like to allow them at first to do blocking. Let's see how your character moves, because I think at one point they're going to know that character more than me. I mean, let's say if I'm not writing it, maybe I'll just have to guide it. If I'm writing it, usually I can give a lot more specific direction. But I like actors to bring in things that might belong to that character. Okay. Things that are again, things that aren't in the script. Gotcha. I like to explore even, rehearsing moments before a big moment, something that's not in the script, but let's go over what they might have been feeling right before, that blow up, or right before they made a decision that changes the course of the story. So, yeah.
Wow. What do you see as the responsibilities of a director?
Oh, wow. See, why I love directing is that directors are pretty much in charge of the theme of the story.
Okay.
What it is that each actor, each moment is trying to get to. The theme, which is supported by the camera, which is supported by the performance, which is supported by the editing. So the directors get a chance to really oversee all of it, The HBIC, I call myself sometimes, head bitch in charge. So,
can you say that a little more loud?
Well, in case some kids are watching,
Right.
But you get to be the purveyor of that creative spirit that's coming forth and rein it in and just make sure it's all, for one purpose.
Gotcha.
So I think it's just an awesome job.
It is, indeed.
Yeah.
Actors and actresses of today are not like the actors and actresses of yesteryear.
Yeah.
What's the differences there? What do we have to do?
Wow. Well, it's fine. There's some really, really excellent actresses and actors today. Well, I think it do have a little different style. Like, I'm really loving Issa Rae. In fact, I just saw Little. And what I like about her is that you feel her inner life, like Issa's inner life, as she's playing a character. she's bringing herself to it, which I think is awesome. Of course, you have people like Viola Davis.
Love that lady.
I
yes.
love her too.
Oh.
I really.
Miss Davis.
Oh, she's just so awesome.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I think there's awesome actors today, like there's awesome actors in our past. I think maybe the biggest difference is just there's so many formats that they can perform on. You know, performing on the internet, and a lot of those actors are. I mean, Isa got discovered on the internet through her web series. So I think that is huge, for a lot of actors, is that there's so many ways to be seen, so many ways to get your performance across.
Okay.
So many people are going to see, so many more people are going to see it.
Got you. They tell me, as an educator, I teach over at Santa Monica College, and we talk about this all the time. And we say sex and violence are the things that are needed in a film today to make it a hit. You didn't have as much sex and violence back in the old days as you got now. You see everything on television.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay.
I definitely think that there is a lot of sex and there is a lot of violence. Even though some of the movies that I liked in the 70s had sex and violence too. So, but then like my dad, my father likes those cowboy movies from like the 30s, not the cool ones like with Clint Eastwood. And obviously those, are very clean, and they're, more or less about just the storytelling. I mean, I think, I don't mind a little of it if it supports a story. I don't like anything gratuitous, obviously. It's funny because, I got a new car recently, and so I have Sirius in, Sirius Radio. So I'm hearing all of these rap tunes that with the original lyrics.
Yes.
And I have to admit, I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that's what that song said. And I enjoyed it without that. So I don't know. I guess I am a little Midwestern girl in a way. I don't think you need it all, And I think in my films, especially with like the reunion, which had a sexual topic, I tried to be as discreet as possible because I didn't want the message to get lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Among the current list of actors and actresses, who are some of your favorite actresses and actors on the scene right now?
Yeah, well, I just mentioned Isa. I love Isa. I love Viola. I love this girl who is on this TV show Atlanta. I think her name is she has a very, very exotic name. It's like Isa Biza or something like that. Yeah. She was also in Dead Man. I'm so sorry. I actually wrote down her name. I should have looked at it.
Okay.
But I love her. Obviously, Regina King.
Regina King. We knew her back on 227.
We did.
Oh, now look at her, an award winner.
I love her. I've watched her evolve her career because I even saw her on TV early on, and just thought, before the 227, she's been doing some dramatic television over the last few years, and she's just amazing. Yeah. So there's a plethora of talent right now. We're very lucky that a lot of these actresses actually have roles.
Yes.
I mean, back in the day. Not
just standing in the back as a stand-in, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Right. I mean, there were just so few movies that had African Americans in them, male or female. And so you would see a talent, even though obviously, they were roles, but they were just far and few between. So I think what's marvelous is that someone like Regina, someone like Viola, can first of all change mediums. They can go from TV to film, and they can have more than one role a year, every 5 years. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a great time.
Do you have any influences?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think Spike. Spike was probably my first influence. When I saw.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, well, she's got to have it. Yeah, definitely. And I think what I liked about it, not so much that it was just, black people, but I liked his style. I liked kind of like that French New Wave that he was experimenting with. I liked that he had his own shot, I thought, it was cool. Nowadays, I mean, I love, and he's still with Black Klansman, he still,
Oh, yeah.
he renewed himself in
Yes,
my,
he did.
because he had a few lean years there. But I love Barry Jenkins, who obviously did If Beale Street Could Walk in Moonlight.
Yes.
He actually, his first movie, I recommend you go see it. It's called Medicine for Melancholy.
Okay.
It was done for like $50,000, and it is like amazing.
Wow.
Again, just really, it's a film where you have a lot of deep character portrayals. You have social justice happening. You talk. So again, but then I love someone like Gina Prince Blightwood, who did Love and Basketball, which is one of my favorite movies. So, and Ava DuVernay.
I knew her when she was a publicist, way back when, here in this town.
Yeah, no,
now look at her.
She's
Yes.
holding the torch so nicely
Yes.
now. She's a wonderful filmmaker, conscientious, has something to say, and I love how, and this is not against Spielberg or anything, but I love how she is not afraid to take on the industry, and take on Spielberg. Wait, I don't know if you heard that, he didn't want Netflix to be able to, So I love that she's not afraid.
Yes.
She's exactly what this industry needs.
As I was doing my research, I came across another person who might be considered one of your influences. That was, you are the niece of Ernest Elly.
Yeah.
Best known as Ray Charles' drummer for over 10 years.
Yes.
That's an influence.
My family is from New Orleans. New Orleans. And my uncle Ernest, yes, he played with Ray for many years and is still playing in the French Quarter.
Yes.
And he has a band, Dukes of Dixieland. He's played for the Queen of England. He's played all around the world. And he's definitely someone that I look at and say, wow, I've got a good lineage. Yeah.
2016, you had a damn good crew of folks as you directed, wrote, and produced a marvelous piece of work called The Reunion.
Yes. Very proud of this movie. The Reunion is a film about four teenage girls, four African-American teenage girls, the morning after a party. And it's a party where there was alcohol. Unsupervised party. One of those parties that parents just cringe at knowing about. Well, the youngest of the four girls, the 17-year-old, drank too much and wakes up the next morning to find out that she was sexually assaulted. So the story is essentially these four girls trying to decide what to do. It might seem obvious, but for four 17-year-old girls, 17 and 18-year-old girls, it's not. Do they tell their parents? Do they call the police? Or do they just keep it a secret? So it's a project that was based on personal experience. It was a project that I tried to put teenagers in. All the girls except for one is a teenager. One of the girls was Lex Scott Davis, who now is a big star. She starred in Superfly last summer. And she was also in the first Purge. So she's an actress who is doing really well, and we're very proud of her success because she definitely has had. So that project is hopefully moving forward as a feature film. And so it is, I actually use the film to lecture at public health and mental health conferences. I've gone to schools before. Scary enough, though, I've had a lot of people who feel as though, because I've tried to show it in like some high schools, and I had this one principal tell me, wow, well, we don't want to damage the girls, by showing them this. And I'm like, what? If you don't educate, it's going to happen more, which unfortunately it does. So it's a movie that obviously is about a subject, a certain social issue, but it's also entertaining. And I think it shows girls how they really are, and what's happening in this day and age.
Okay, so let's take a peek.
Sure.
The Reunion.
Yes.
work, piece of work.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Like I
thank
told you,
you.
I have girls of my own. I've had 7 girls.
7 girls. Oh
So
my
when
goodness.
I see movies like this, I want to let folks know, hey, we need to see it.
Yeah.
Tony, would you put that back up again? Because you got a hell of a beautiful website.
Oh, thank you.
Please, can you take a look at that again one more time, sir? That looked marvelous. Look at that. He's going to put that up for us in just a second.
Good.
But it really shows you guys do a lot of work. God, I wish we had more time to sit and talk to you some more.
Yeah, this one's
we
so
just getting
fast.
started. You know, wow. There we go. But how do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered?
Yes.
Well, recently, and I'll say this quickly because I know we don't have much time, but I went to the African American Museum in D.C. and I was floored by this. I have it tattooed on me, "Making a way out of no way."
Wow.
That is what I got it tattooed because it said, I saw all these stories of these
Right.
African Americans who had done amazing things. And I mean, they had nothing. They had more than I feel like I have conflict of studio execs, they had life-threatening situations, but they made a way. So I want to be remembered as someone who tells stories about people who made a way, people who found a way.
Gotcha.
And if I could do that, I think I'd be a very, successful filmmaker, and
Gotcha.
everybody's right.
Quickly, could you tell us the address to your link, to your website?
Oh, I have a few. Okay, there's CarmenEllyWilkerson.net is my website. The Reunion has a website, thereunionshortfilm.com. And then my latest film, which we didn't get to, The Peck Situation, also has a website, thepecksituation.com. And I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Carmen_Elly Wilkerson.
Okay.
@ And then on Twitter, I'm at CarmenElly6.
My goodness. May I have your right hand, please?
Yes.
Hold on to that for good luck. Hold on to that for
Thank
good luck.
you.
Definitely. And for ladies, we always make sure the ladies have something
Oh, how
Indeed.
sweet.
Indeed. Thank you. We
You
didn't get a
are
chance to
amazing.
tell. We just love to do what we do. We didn't get a chance to tell people how you and I met. We'll get you back to the movie and talk to the show and talk about
All right.
it.
Thank you so
But
much,
thank
Ron.
you. My pleasure. My
All
pleasure.
right.
Special
Wonderful
thanks to
being
our
here.
sponsors, Harvey Bradman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Hoco Style, Passion Heart, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green. Again, much thanks to our guest today, writer-director-actor Michael Phillip Edwards and writer-director Carmen Elly Wilkerson. Come on back again, y'all. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience of good folks out there who we'll see you later.